Well, it's a misunderstanding. If you know what the process looks like, then you can actually see, okay, cool, that's what they're doing.
Okay.
And it's like, so, because trust me, I have no desire to get fat. However, if you don't go big enough and you're very which this is body dysmorphia. I literally was like, when I crossed 220, I was like, I'm getting fat. And
Oh,
it was hard for me to continue to gain because I was like, I was very concerned with and it's yes, part of it is because I make content all the time, but another part of it is just I liked that previous version of me. And
yeah.
so I'm like, I'm getting like, and it took me a minute, but it's like, I understand you have to be willing to go through basically stacking the muscle. And to do that, you need to be in a calorie surplus. So it's going to get a little messy. But when you clean it back up, it's going to be worth it.
You know what? You are absolutely right because even in my business, I've had several evolutions. When I first started, I was in my grandmother's church hats. I was working out, so I used to come with no shirt, and I used to come with like chains on, and you could see, everything. And I was very proud of that. Everybody, everywhere I went, they were like, "You're a model. We could tell you're a model. You have a beautiful body, and you're thin, and it's just so right." And over the years, I would move from one, like then I started moving into clothing and women's clothing and wigs and things like that. And I had to slim down. I had to
Mm.
slim down. And what I realize now is that I kind of shot myself in the foot there because
Really?
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm not gonna say it's body dysmorphia, but coming from a fashion background,
Mhm.
we don't eat a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
If you understand me. And it can get crazy. I never had any eating disorders, but even I'm gonna be honest right now, even right now, yesterday, and my following is gonna crucify me because they're gonna be like, you're crazy. But yesterday I had saltine crackers and a ginger beer. And I know
Yeah.
that's a little crazy, but earlier in the day, I had rotisserie chicken. Like I had like just, and my thing is I did a small piece of rotisserie chicken. I don't I don't really eat a lot. I
Yeah.
don't. Now, mind you, now look at this. 19 years of therapy. We've been talking about it. I'm more so of a snacker. I don't really eat. I'll take and I'll go. And I mean, people are like, they're hearing this. And my thing is, the reason why I'm putting this out there is because I want them to understand for these professions, for any of them, anything that has to do with the aesthetic,
Mm.
it's difficult. So, and this is me. Now, mind you, this is not me in Paris at 22. This is still me having lived that way for so long at 41 now.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, she gets so scared and she gets so nervous. But I am a workaholic. Like I work, and and I'm gonna get into therapy here. My therapist always says to me, she says, "Baby, there's just one thing I wish I could correct about you." And I'm like, "What?" And she said, "You eat food as a reward, not a necessity."
Mm.
And she was right. I will do all my work for the night and then reward myself with food. And that can be a little crazy, but guess what? They can't say I have some kind of mental disorder because I already do. I have bipolar type 1,
Yeah. Yeah.
PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder. So they can't listen. They can't.
Well, it's funny you say that. So I got a similar outcome from a different path. So
Yeah.
from my childhood, um, the people who treated me nice were thin. The people that I recognized that were successful were thin, and the people who treated me like crap were overweight and had all these like health problems and stuff like that. So unintentionally, I actually became the type of person to where I just like I never wanted to be fat. Like that is like they're two, everybody's got different things that motivate them. Two things that will motivate me like none other, as corny as it may be, the idea that I'm getting fat and the idea of me having financial troubles again, like being broke. Those are two things that will fuel me. Like I will, you actually want to see somebody focus. Like that is actually how you get me to move mountains, right? But uh, for me, it was an accidental. I just kind of, especially, and then it's very easy to hide, or for it to be masked when you're in, especially like business or something like that, because of the whole workaholic thing. I would forget to eat, and I really didn't care.
Me
Like
too.
I was just because again,
I
it's like as
care.
long as I'm not getting fat, like I don't really care.
I
And so
didn't care.
that's exactly why when I got out of the military, I was 211 actually, because I'd actually done the work to build the body that initially dove into trying to figure out how to make money and kind of just woke up one day and was like, I'm 153, like a skeleton. And I'm like, I mean, like, and it was cool because again, like that was actually the first time in my life that I found myself beginning to hide behind clothes, where I was like, I'm more comfortable, like just kind of being me, but it's like I don't like the way I look anymore. And so, and it was just because of that workaholic tendency combined with the fact that for me, I didn't realize it until like kind of after, I guess like hindsight. I don't have a therapist. I just have some friends that I actually talk to. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They said someone told me like
At the
you don't
level
need.
you are, when you do
Well,
a
somebody
mental
told me
health
like
care,
this
yeah,
is just me. Like I don't even know if this is real or not, but somebody told me less people would need therapists and counselors if you actually had a good person in your life to talk to that would listen. And so for me, it was just one of those things that it was like, I have one person like that. But it was like in one of those conversations, I realized I was like, I think I have an aversion towards getting fat. Like for real though. And
yeah.
so outside of just like people's perception, it's a deep rooted like but
You
I
know,
just think it's interesting.
you know
Yeah.
what's so crazy? You and I both, though we are at different ends of the spectrum, we have the same fears. I can't be broken. I can't be. And get this. It's not, and get this. And I tell people all the time, you don't understand. I don't discriminate. I don't bully people
Oh
that are
yeah.
weight, like people that are
In
overweight
your life.
because I do like I truly believe we are all different. And one thing about African Americans is, we grew up with big mamas, our mom,
Yeah.
our grandmamas, our
Yeah.
auntie. So you'd be surprised how many muscle men or thin men go get them a big woman. Like you'd be surprised because we're conditioned. We see it. It's our mothers, it's our grandmothers, it's our aunties. But you are the same. Like I'm going to reveal something. When I first went into the hospital in college in 2001,